Today might be an even happier day than the birth of my firstborn child. Okay, fine, I haven't given birth yet, but if the excitement and joy matches at all what I'm feeling right now, I might reconsider my decision to be child-free. My favorite indie perfume house, Sorce, is releasing 6 new scents for spring, and they so generously sent me all of them to test out and try for you all. If you haven't tried anything from Sorce, this is a brand you absolutely need to have on your radar. They make some of the most fun, unique, and innovative scents I've ever smelled. Sometimes I wish I could live in Caitlin's head, she's the perfumer for Sorce, because she's literally a genius. I don't know how she's able to come up with such amazing and cool concepts and execute them flawlessly every time. I have loved Sorce ever since they were Sorcellerie Apothecary, back before they even carried EDPs. Look at these ancient relics. So it has been an absolute privilege watching this brand grow over the years, and I'm so glad more people are starting to love them as much as I love them. Also, I very rarely get perfume PR, which is kind of whatever, I guess, but sometimes I do feel left out. So I am just so grateful that Caitlin even thought of me to send me these new launches. Before I rip into it like a Neanderthal, I just want you to see how cute this PR box is. All of the fragrances are wrapped individually, which is super cute and adorable. But of course, what matters most is the smell, so I'm going to give you my thoughts and first impressions. It is so cold in here, so I had to throw a jacket on. First one we'll start off with is the Light Through Clouds, which coincidentally is also my favorite out of the entire collection. I'm calling it right now, this is going to be the tea scent to beat this year. This is so stunning. Like, I've never smelled anything like this, and I can't imagine anything else this year comparing to it. When Caitlin made this fragrance, she was inspired by how Impressionist artists would depict the movement of light in their artwork, which is the coolest thing ever. This literally smells like a dream sequence. I don't know how else to describe it. This fragrance is supposed to have a soft tension between cool and warmth, and you definitely get that the entire wear of the fragrance. It starts out with this warm Szechuan pepper that's not too spicy or sharp, but it's subdued with a very fresh green mandarin note and with some sugared lemon as well. You also get this gorgeous aqueous water lily note and this gorgeous, calming, crisp white tea. Oh my goodness. And towards the end of the dry down, it just gets really rich and sappy and resinous. Like, ugh, I don't know how, but this literally smells like a watercolor painting. Like, it's so airy and dreamy, and I know everyone's sick of the word ethereal, but it smells legit ethereal. Like, it's beautiful. Now we'll move into the In Dreams and Fairytales collection. This is a gourmand collection with 5 different variations based on a vanilla meringue dessert. We'll start off with the baseline vanilla variation. This is such a welcome departure from so many of the popular vanillas on the market right now. This is not super heavy and dense and cavity inducing like a lot of the other popular gourmand vanillas. It's very light and airy and fluffy, just like the dessert that inspired the fragrance. Just from looking at the notes, you wouldn't think that this would be anything super groundbreaking, but this literally smells like fairy dust to me. It is so pretty. There's nothing artificial smelling about this. It just smells like fresh vanilla bean paste, like the good stuff, the real stuff, and spun sugar. This is such a spring or summer appropriate gourmand. I mean, all of them from this collection are, but this one especially, just so light and airy and fluffy, it's really good. Now, let's get into passion fruit. Maybe it was because I was a little bit hungry when I was smell testing these, but once I smelled passion fruit, my mouth actually started to salivate. This is such a juicy burst of fruit, and it's incredibly realistic, even down to that tartness that you would get with a super fresh, sweet passion fruit. I don't know if this is just an ethnic thing or not, but it reminds me so much of these Jumex fruit juice concentrates that I used to drink when I was younger, before I had to worry about my blood sugar and my toes getting amputated. Specifically the guava one, I definitely do get a bit of a guava undertone from this, probably because of that tartness, but it's very pulpy and concentrated. Ugh, so delicious. Next up, we have pistachio. As much as I enjoy pistachio notes, I'm not necessarily a pistachio fanatic. Like, I've never just been on the hunt to find the perfect pistachio, but if I was on the hunt, I would probably stop with this one because I don't know if I'm ever gonna smell another pistachio that rivals this. If Young Pistachio by Kayali was a little bit too floral and not gourmand enough for you, I definitely think you should try this. This smells like 2 things to me. The first one being marzipan, which is like this candy dough that's made out of ground almonds and sugar. And this smells like if you ground pistachios and almonds to create a nut butter, but you also put in a couple drops of almond extract and put in some real vanilla bean paste. It's very creamy and smooth and buttery, and that vanilla meringue note just really adds the most beautiful fluffy touch of spun sugar to it. This is really good. Next up, we have blueberry, and it's actually kind of funny because my favorite blueberry fragrance is also made by Sorce. It's called This Is Not a Love Spell. This Is Not a Love Spell is a really pretty aromatic that has jammy blueberry and purple florals in it, but it might have some competition now that I've smelled this blueberry. I saw Jamie and Noah's review of this fragrance, Mr. and Mrs. Sniff. I'll tag them. I love the reviews. They're so funny. And they described this as smelling like a blueberry muffin, and I definitely get that. Not even like a $12 gluten-free muffin from some vegan bakery, like the $1 Martha White blueberry muffin mix that you can get at the dollar store. And that's not to say that this smells cheap, but it's just what I grew up eating, so that aroma is very specifically ingrained in my mind. You take your first bite of that fresh, warm muffin, and then you immediately get that burst of sweet gelatinous blueberry. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. I will say though, this one is definitely the strongest and most perfumey out of all of the variations, so if you are looking for something that's a little bit more of a soft blueberry, I definitely would recommend This Is Not a Love Spell. And lastly, we have Strawberry Rosewater, which quite literally smells like a pink drink. This is so fun and girly. I could just picture myself wearing this with a really cute dress for a day date this summer. Oh, so cute. Strawberry is one of those notes that can go real synthetic real quick, but this does not smell synthetic at all. It smells like legit fresh strawberry jam with a little bit of rose jam mixed in. Similar to passion fruit and blueberry, this is definitely a very pulpy, jammy take on the fruit. Luckily for the people who are not very big fans of rose, I would not classify this as a rose-forward fragrance. Honestly, depending on how sensitive your nose is, you might not even really smell any rose at all. But personally, I do start to get like a very soft, diffused, watery rose towards the dry down. All right, so that's everything from the new collection. Smelling through this collection was such a treat. Each one of the fragrances is so different and unique in their own way. I expected the vanilla meringue scents to get kind of repetitive, but they all held their own and they're all so special, while still staying true to the original vanilla meringue DNA. I was sent 15 ml bottles of each one of these fragrances, but if I had to pick 3 that I would size up to a bigger size of, it would definitely be the Light Through Clouds, as well as the pistachio and strawberry rosewater variations of the vanilla meringue. These are releasing on April 2nd, so set your calendars and let me know which one of these you'll be trying out.